Coming up on this episode of MTV News, we discover the benefits of shopping local, we learn to look out for the horrible dangers of sugar-free gum, and we're made aware of what we can do about the American River's pollution. All this and more on the MTV News Special Edition. We all know what chewing gum is, but do we know how extremely dangerous it can be? Learn more about the detrimental effects of sugar-free gum in this short video. Chewing gum is a common staple in most gas stations and stores. Little did most people know, sugar-free brands likely contain a chemical called xylitol that is fatally toxic to any and all animals. Brands like Icebreakers, Extra, Trident, and more may include it. Watch out for xylitol when buying your gum, or just choose a different product entirely. It's your choice. Your pet deserves it. I know, right? Who would have thought such a seemingly harmless snack would be so harmful to our pets? Speaking of issues creeping up behind us, pollution is also an imposing threat. Let's see what it can do to the American River and how we can help stop pollution.
A common place to go fish or take a walk in Sacramento is the American River. However, you might not realize how much pollution is in the area, affecting wildlife and animals that live there. Maybe you've encountered pollution while at the American River. You're not the only person to experience this. Plenty of trash is left at the river, whether it's lids, paper, or even shoes. The list goes on and on. Too many plants can also have lots of impact on the environment.
Those chemicals that they use, like pesticides, herbicides, all those kind of things, they start to run off into the water. And when it gets into the water, it starts to grow a type of plant that we call algae. And that algae is starting to affect the oxygen level in the water. And that starts to make the water not as healthy. And when you don't have healthy water, then you can't have healthy wildlife.
You could see maybe like a sheen on the top of the water when, it's reflecting like there might be oil or something like a petroleum product that's in there.
A lot of damage is already done to the environment, but there are ways you can prevent these things from happening, such as picking up a piece of trash when you see one.
If we think that, it's just going to go down the storm drain, we don't need to worry about it. We have to think, this is going down the storm drain. What can I do to make sure that it doesn't end up in the water? What can I do instead? Those kind of things is really what we want to do just to make everyday differences.
A lot of it is just do it yourself. And so we call it, now we're calling it, our organization, Random Acts of Cleanup. And we encourage people to just pick up garbage that they see.
Pollution has spread vastly at the American River. However, if we take simple steps like picking up trash when we see it, we can create a better environment.
Pollution is a problem for sure. Now, onto a more colorful topic. Let's visit the many positive effects of shopping locally.
Small businesses are everywhere. You may have even been to one. According to ASQ.org, a small business is a privately owned corporation, partnership, or sole proprietorship that has fewer employees and less annual revenue than a corporation or regular-sized business. So what makes going to a small business unique to going to a regular-sized business?
A lot of times when you shop at a small business, especially if it's one that you've been to more than once, they'll know you. At the studio, we make a really big point of knowing our clients and customers. When you shop small, you'll generally have a chance to meet the owner because he or she is probably working there at any given time that you're there. And it's just a more personal experience there. I find it to be a much more fun and fulfilling experience.
In a small store, it's like specifically curated space. So we take the time and energy to hand pick out special things that we feel our customers are really gonna love. as opposed to just walking into a bigger store and it's kind of going to be the same at all their locations. So there's just like a lot of love and energy putting into creating the space, from like the products we sell, the way it's merchandised, the music we play, just the whole like experience.
Small businesses are important because when you come and buy your cheeseburger from our establishment, then your money goes to kids' basketball lessons or drum lessons. We keep the money in the community.
I've always found that when I go into a small business, especially when the owner is on site to greet me, or maybe it's his family members are part of the team, that you get a different level of service because they feel a certain ownership in the business. And so you walk in and they care more about that business than maybe somebody who's just an employee working at a bigger store who's just trying to make a paycheck. People that own their own businesses and these small family businesses, this is their livelihood. This is their life. This is the family mission is to help that little business survive and maybe get bigger.
Why should you shop at a small business? Here's Jerry Fatt to talk to you about how shopping locally benefits the whole community.
It's important because local businesses are owned and operated by people that live in the community. They're not necessarily part of the national chain. And so supporting local business keeps the economy alive locally. And I think a lot of the local owners are part of the fabric. You know, they not only work here and do business, but they're active in the community, in schools, and whether it's church or local organizations.
Did you know that most companies started out as a small business? Even big corporations like Rayleigh's and the Nugget Market. Here's the story about how Fat's restaurant started out in Sacramento.
My dad started our original restaurant called Frank Fat's Restaurant here in Sacramento. It was open, this is our 82nd year. Opened in 1939 in downtown Sacramento. We're one of the oldest restaurants owned by the same family in the same location, at least in Sacramento, and probably at least on the West Coast.
So, in conclusion, why should I want to support a small business? Why not go to Whole Foods instead of the local deli right next to it? I asked this question to a small business owner, and here's what they replied.
Small business is the culture and the heartbeat of a city. We're your neighbors, we're people that you know. Anytime you shop at a small business, we're giving back to the community more than a large business. I think it's something like 62 cents on the dollar from a small business goes right back into the community because I in turn am shopping, my employees are as well. Big business, I think it's only like 25 cents. It's something kind of like silly like that. But yeah, small business, you're supporting your neighborhood. You're making a really cool cultural space for, just like a different type of feel than other places. It's something more unique. And you're supporting, your neighbors, which is awesome.
That's it for now on this special edition of MTV News. My name's Paisley Walton, and we'll see you next time.